I've been seeing a lot of really good discourse on TikTok pertaining to the death penalty and pedophilia. But one thing that I don't see people bring up is why the public really pushes for the death penalty when it comes to pedophiles, other than the fact that it's a very egregious crime. And it's because when you look at the way pedophiles and child sex abusers are punished, the sentence and the punishment is remarkably lenient. And so it's, well, if you're going to do nothing, then we need to do absolutely everything. And the sad reality of the American justice system is that felonies really don't mean anything anymore. It used to be like if you were going to get in trouble for something, you would want it to be a misdemeanor, because if you got a felony, I mean, your life was basically over. And that's not how it is, which is something that really surprised me until I got into law enforcement, because I was always of the opinion that, felonies were reserved specifically for like big, bad, evil, dangerous crimes. And that's what it should be. However, when I run a criminal history on somebody and it's 2 inches thick and it's felony assault, felony assault, felony assault, felony assault, and they're constantly pleading down to probation, and then they're violating their probation and they're continuing to assault people. Like, at what point is enough enough? At what point do you say, hey, sorry, there's no more probation, you actually get prison time now? And part of that's because the prisons themselves are severely overrun, they're overcrowded, and quite frankly, the American justice system is falling apart at the seams. There's no reason that a sex offender or a pedophile should get probation, and yet it happens all the time. There's no reason that a man who tries to bite the finger off of his wife should only get probation, and that's a real story. There's no reason that a guy who has had 6 domestic violence incidences should not get, prison time. There's no reason, in no shape or form, should these crimes be allowed to continue, and yet they do. And that is why people want the death penalty, because it's like, okay, cool. Well, if we're not going to put these guys in prison, we might as well get rid of them, because clearly they're going to be allowed to keep doing the same behavior that they've always been doing. And at face value, I get it. I understand why plea deals are a thing. It's because the courts get bogged down. It's supposed to save taxpayer money. But at the end of the day, you are hurting the public. People don't want severe answers to crime. They aren't expecting everybody to get the death penalty, but they are expecting people to be held accountable for the bad things that they're doing. And ironically, in my state where I'm from, people get more prison time for shoplifting than they do for domestic violence, for felony assault, for burglary or robbery. If you shoplift 3 times and you get charged and convicted 3 times, you are guaranteed prison time. So why is it that we're valuing items and goods over individuals' lives? Because there's no reason that a pedophile should get probation and a shoplifter should get prison time. And that is why people want the death penalty. Again, I understand it. I don't agree with it. I think there's a lot of issues with giving pedophiles the death penalty. I think it would fundamentally increase the deaths of children after they've been victimized. I think it would decrease the amount of kids who report that they've been victimized, because it's typically a person that they know or a loved one. And on top of that, death penalties guarantee lots and lots and lots of appeals, which is just going to re-traumatize people. So it's a very complex situation, but I really do think it boils down to the fact that felonies no longer hold weight. And realistically, I don't know how the justice system's going to fix it, because it's got so many problems it can't get its own head out of its ass.